sustainability, climate action, and so on. And that's a connection that we'd like to see more of the municipal leadership, the city's leadership, making. So that was part of the reason for it. And I think it's a good news story. I mean, that's an always welcome kind of thing too, is to have a good news story.
Yeah, it was a good news story. She was
Yeah.
bright. She was bright and she was interesting, and she certainly had a topic that at least one member of council might be interested in. I mean, talking about the steel industry was that just an accident? Just happened?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's an accident that's her favorite illustration. She used that illustration with a small group of us met with her, with Sadaf, back quite a few weeks ago in anticipation, like to talk about this coming to the mixer. We have our own illustration in town. I mean, Vic West, right next to Hunter Steel, you know, in that alleyway of steel fabricators. He's done similar kinds of initiatives. I don't know all the details about it, but they've done similar initiatives at their plant, and they've had similar results, getting into the, you know, cost savings that are, you didn't include this in the video, but the bottom line for the illustration that Tova used is that he's saving $250,000 every year, $250,000 a year in costs. Vic West has seen that kind of return as well. So the stories are there. I don't think our city leaders have quite captured the sense of what's possible. And to be fair, a lot of it is, a lot of what we're up against in Stratford is a reflection, pardon me, it's a reflection of our size, in that you simply haven't got the depth of staff on your bench as a city to take initiatives. You're stretched pretty thin.
Well, on that note, she did a lot of talking about, I'm here to help you. We're not running the show. We're here to help you do stuff, you know, and that really appealed to me because I kind of think that's what we're wanting to do, you know. So do you think that they will be receptive? I mean, is that the way we should do it? Should we ask Sustainable Waterloo to come in here and show them the spreadsheets, and should we encourage them to be here, or should we get on our bikes and do it ourselves?
I think both. I mean, I'm not fully familiar, but I think there's quite specific things. For example, Sustainable Waterloo, one of their programs, if you go to their website, and Tova didn't talk about this at all, but they do some work in urban tree cover. They use a phrase I've never seen before, microforests. And, you know, I think specifically some of the groups that are in town that are looking to address the issue of tree cover in the city, groups like Tree Trust and Relief, and the Rotary Club is looking to be engaged a lot as well. You know, those specific groups, I think, might find both resources and inspiration in connecting with that division or that campaign or that project within Sustainable Waterloo. I mean, the short answer is, Sharon, I don't know all the ways that Sustainable Waterloo could resource us here in Stratford, but we're certainly gonna remain friends and pen pals with them, to use some old metaphor. Yeah.
Well, she certainly was reaching out, you know, when she's talking about we're no longer Sustainable Waterloo, we are Sustainable Waterloo Region. And she says it's not Lebensraum, you know, we're not going to march into Poland or anything, but you know, it's just an urge to connect. That's the way I read it, you know, and I find that really attractive. And I've actually had someone call me, I think through them, not call me, but email me about making connections and doing things together. So I'm really open to that, and I'd like to encourage that more. So anything that we can do along those lines would be good. So,
For the microforest, it was good to see Farewell there. I also wonder if whole video should be sent to the councillors so that they
whole
could
video.
view it. Yeah, the whole video, not
Well,
just the
you know,
5-minute thing.
well, send the 5-minute thing. Well, I didn't want to do that. I would thought that if anybody wanted to do that, it would be Bill, because he's so much more respectable.
He was here, I thought I'd mention it.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, just a nice letter saying, gee, we missed you at the, you know, though there was a counselor who came, we missed you, and here's something you might like to put in, and all you have to do is put the link in the email, and then underneath say, if you found this interesting, then you can put the link to the whole video, because I do find that when you send somebody a 50-minute video, they say, yeah, right, and they, you know, they go watch rabbits or whatever and cats on the internet. So that's my ploy, and that I thought was the most captivating thing that she did in that evening, and it really does make you want to watch more. So, you know, it'd be nice to invite the council. I mean, they're not the enemy. It would be nice to invite them, and that would be one way to do it.
Yeah.
So,
That way you get to know who really is interested too and who
well,
isn't.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to also ask you, Bill, about Vic West. Have they done
Mhm.
anything, you know, have they had any meetings or talked about what they're doing, or are they spreading the news around, so to speak?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the Vic West story is, and I intended actually today to see what I could find online. I had an interesting experience. I mean, our own story as a city, and I told the story on at the Mixer last Tuesday.
Mhm.
Our own story as a city is we have a similar success story with the Dufferin Arena and the amount of energy we're saving at the Dufferin Arena. We created when they refurbished the facility, I think it was in 2012, they increased the floor space by 50%, from 20,000 square feet to 30,000 square feet. I don't know if any of you have kids or grandkids who played hockey in the old Dufferin Arena, but it was a pretty shabby arena. I used to go there with my daughter regularly on Saturdays. And so the Dufferin Arena, when it was refurbished, they took a couple of initiatives. They put on a green roof. They did a very clever thing with a pit for the Zamboni to dump into. If you've been around arenas or down beside the arena there, when you go out to the market on a Saturday here in town, Zamboni comes out through big open doors, the type of doors that Tova just described in the video, dumps the snow that it's, the ice scrapings that it's scraped off the ice between users, between games, and then goes back in, closes the door. But you're losing heat every time you open and close the door, as Tova said. But what they did in the city was they created a dumping pit. The Zamboni dumps the scrapings into a pit right inside the arena. That ice lands around the coolant, a way of pre-cooling the coolant that keeps the ice surface hard. So as the ice melts in the pit, it's absorbing energy out of the coolant, making it, in essence, contributing to the coolant. It's capturing some of the energy in the ice to make it easier to keep the ice surface hard. And the other advantage, and I don't know quite what the detail is on this, but ordinarily you would take the shavings out of the arena and you dump it behind the arena, and any impurities in the ice then just melt and go down into the sewer, into rainwater sewer, stormwater sewer, and into the river. Whereas if it's trapped in the pit, then you can take care of any impurities in the ice. Those are a couple of things that I can remember from that change. But the bottom line was that if you compare the 30,000 square foot arena that they now have at Dufferin with a similar sized 30,000 square foot arena, also in Stratford, you'll find that the Dufferin arena uses 50% less electricity and 2/3 less natural gas. So we've got those stories, but going back to your question, Sharon, has the Vic West story been told? It was interesting when I wanted to remind myself of some of those details. I Googled Dufferin Arena, Stratford, Ontario, energy savings. Nothing from the city came up. What came up was an article in an industrial journal by the company that makes the cooling machinery that got used in the refurb of the Dufferin Arena. They're boasting about how their equipment is contributing to these savings. So it's an odd quirk of the Dufferin Arena story, and it may be sort of an indication of, boasting in climate circles about the greenhouse gas emissions that you're reducing isn't the kind of thing that the business is thinking about as they market their product among municipalities who are building arenas. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think
we want to tell that story, but they don't tell it quite the same way.
I think that's partially true of Stratford. I remember things being done when Kathy was on council, and I could find no trace of them, environmentally positive things, on the city websites. We don't tell our stories when they relate to climate for some reason. It's not considered a priority. I also wanted to add that I believe Vic West presented at Rotary.
That
So
would make sense.
I think that story did go out and was
But it needs to be told again, I would think.
I was going to say, were they not a green recognition program? If they aren't, they should this year.
Yeah, you're right.
That's true. That's true. I should, I will tell Sadaf about that. Maybe we should make a video. Videos are, Oh gosh, I had a question. Now it's going out of my head. Oh yeah, I know. Sheila, you probably missed that because you came in a little late, but I talked about how on the Energy and Environment Committee, we are working on information for a page. And I've talked to Mike Bites about putting a page on the front page, and it's going to say Green City. And you can go there and you can find out what's green about Stratford.
I think that would be wonderful.
I think so, because, finding the committee and this and that, and then the recycling, it would all be on one page, and just little links to go to people. And then also maybe things like, what are the community groups that are interested in environment, like Climate Momentum? I mean, I keep saying this, but you cannot have too many front doors to your webpage, to your information. You cannot have too many. So that would be another good front door.
I think that's a great idea.
And we could do a little clip that might go on there, like about Vic West, where you do a little video.
Yeah.
They might let us put it up. And if they don't, well, we'll put it up on the Sustainability Hub.
We used to have a link on the main page. I don't know who decided that wasn't important. A climate emergency link. And that led to a number of different avenues to climate and environmental information.
Well, I think these things just sort of, if you don't have somebody because I called Mike Bites and he was great about it. Oh yeah, this sounds like a great idea. He didn't resist at all. So, I think that we can get something up that will be quite useful.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Good idea. I also like your work on home retro.
Did you see it? You're supposed to criticize it, You're not supposed to say you like it. You're supposed to say, you can't spell.
I think it's an excellent idea. And I know that whenever I did anything with the city, I was restrained from using company names or store names.
That's it. That's why we decided to do it. The E&E committee wouldn't let us do it. you know,
Yeah.
on the city page. And this way it's fine. And as long as the city can say, oh, there are these private citizen groups that are doing different things, like I'm a mental bit, well, you know, then we were working hand in hand with them, and that's great.
Yeah, oh, good idea.
Any other comments or questions about the video itself? I thought it was just charming.
I know, following up on Sheila's comments, your video is very good. Like the quality of the segues in the editing is really very good.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm getting better. I'll
Yeah, you
get
are.
better. Yeah,
Yeah.
working on it. So
Well,
yeah, I've got
it's
my. What's that?
so often those little handheld phone videos from any meeting are painful to watch,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that little 5-minute clip is really engaging. It's well done.
Well, it was an engaging subject. You know, it wasn't hard to do that.
Yeah, no
So-
kidding. Huh? Yeah.
She's great.
The same setup we use at church, broadcast our service. So, and it works well there too.
Mhm.
Mm.
So, no one else have anything else to add about the video? Questions or about contact with Sustainable Waterloo Region? That's a really attractive thought to me. I'm a great one for connecting with other people. So
That's why I'm hoping that the 5-minute video will do for the
yeah.
councillors, is want them to find out more.
Yeah. So Bill, do you think you'd want to send a letter to councillors saying we had this great meeting and we know you'd want to see it?
I made a note. Jeff Love kind of leads, and Sheila does a lot of work in networking with both staff and the mayor. Jeff kind of coordinates a little. Yeah, you caught me here. I always call it the tag team, a group of us that write the councillors on various issues. Right? Well done. Do something more on this. Whatever. I want to kind of pitch it to Jeff to say what do you think.
Yeah. Well, if you
that's what I'm scribbling here in the corner. I'm not petting the cat. When I look off to my right, I'm scribbling on my little notepad here.
Well, you know, if you want me to do it, I'll do it. But I just think that would be, I just don't think it's appropriate coming from the Sustainability Hub somehow. I think it'd be nice to come elsewhere, but I can do it if you want me to do it. You know, that's
yeah.
fine.
I mean, I'd be open to that. I mean, I think you put the effort into editing it and taking that, bringing your gear to take the video.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. Make note to self, send it tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll have the first little video that we did on the solar. And the solar was really good. I was really mad that something happened to my battery, so I didn't get all of it. But what we got is not too bad, not too bad. And he starts out by just generally talking about solar in Canada, and it's worth it. We're going to have lots of good stuff. And maybe we should start thinking about Vic West. Just, I mean, companies always want publicity, right? You know, I mean, just go and say, we're going to do a little video. Could you just sit and talk to us in your office and take half an hour and we'll get some stuff and put it up? That would be a plan.
I think, and this is a general comment, we hope to have 4 mixers this year. The focus of the mixers is, we've had good success with Tova. I mean, I think we really scored with Tova as a presenter, because you can present and the facts can be all great and they can be dry as toast, but she's very engaging. Same can be said for Reiner at our earlier mixer talking about housing.
You know, we have that one up as well.
Yeah. I think, you know, for the remaining 3 in this year, I'm open to suggestions on either topics that it'd be nice if we could find someone to talk about, or specific speakers or specific organizations. The nice thing about both Tova and Ryan is they brought in folk to the mixer that we haven't seen before. So in terms of it,
Mhm.
it wasn't just, yeah, they brought in some new faces
Mhm.
into the room and engaged them. So and it's a nice venue for new faces to come to. I mean, it's a pretty easy thing to say, you know, drop around after work, have a beer,
Yeah.
hear an interesting person,
Yeah.
meet some people, chat. It's a
Mhm.
very it's a low risk entry point for
Mhm.
folk to get engaged. So if
And that
there are,
room is better too. That room is
Yeah.
nice. You can sit
yeah,
down, you can make little groups. And the
yeah, the room
hearing,
worked well.
Yeah.
I was concerned because it's got to be twice the size of the room we
Mhm.
used before.
Mhm.
And I always liked that room because it's cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But cozy became claustrophobic
Yeah.
in the fall
Yeah.
when we were meeting with Ryan Erb. There
Yeah.
just were too many people in the room. I don't know what the fire marshal would say.
Yeah.
So that we felt we had to kind of take a leap of faith and say there'll be enough people come to make this room feel full.
Well, not
And
only
it
that,
certainly
but
did.
it occurred to me when we were there, there's room for the kids in that room. There's
Mm,
room for kids to go off and maybe
mhm,
somebody watch them or something, just
mhm,
keep them quiet so you can have
mhm.
a meeting. But I
Yep,
like that, the kids should be there, it's their
yep,
future too. So
yep.
yeah, I think it worked out really well. It gets better every time I go. It was a great meeting. Yeah.
Thanks. Glad to hear it. I mean, that's the intent. It's just it's a warm, enjoyable networking opportunity with some new, inspiring content.
Mhm.
That's the game we're playing there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
last question. Is everybody okay if I send a copy of this little bit? You heard me turn on the recording. I didn't ask before I turned on the recording because Bill was talking. Does anyone have a problem with me sending this recording out to the membership in a newsletter saying this is what you missed?
Oh,
Does anybody have a problem with it going on YouTube?
no.
Mm,
Okay. Okay.
What about my police record?
Your police record. Ah, well, this has been great. It's really nice to see you. Thank you for coming, everyone. Unless you have an announcement or something to say or something to add.
Well, the thought occurs to me that tomorrow, Sharon, to get more folk on council to open your email, you might say in the subject line, it's a Valentine's Day greeting.
There you go.
I will do that. I will do that.
I'm sure there's a heart emoji we could squeak in there too.
Why not? Why not? Okay, everybody. Thank you for coming. We're
Thank you.
just under 10 minutes
Thank
under
you.
the hour and short meeting and are much less painful. So
Thanks,
I'll
Sharon.
see you soon.
We had a night off choir. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good
It was
night,
nice
Sharon.
to meet you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Bonnie. Bye,
Bye.
Well, that didn't go too badly.
Oh, it was nice to have some new people there.
Yep. Yeah. I
So that
mean,
was good.
it's nerve-wracking this, you think, oh, is anybody going to come? Is anybody going to come? And then some people come. Last time we had a lot of people, and it's
I
good.
noticed that. I looked at the video today. I haven't tried yet. I was really busy yesterday and today wasn't much different. I'll see about getting that video to you.
Yep. Well, I've got the first one done and I'm going to put that up now. That's just the one where he talks about, has all the pictures of Canada and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
And I can put that up and that's good because now we have something that's starting that section. And
Got 6 minutes and 48 seconds. That's all of
well,
it.
I might be able to get something out of that. And if not, it's not the end of the world.
No.
I'm sorry about that because he spoke well.
Yeah. You can
So
stop the recording too.
I can stop.
To see the
Oh,
recording
yeah.
thing.